Okay, so the only deal with this is that when you get the 2 over 1, you just have to make sure that this 2 times 1 is getting multiplied into the x and into the negative 8 constant term. It's distributing. It's a multiplication through and through. Okay, so since it froze, remember, x is y is x, take the constant term over, reciprocal to 1/2, I get 2 over 1, multiply it to the right, multiply it to the left, hopefully it doesn't freeze again. Okay, and so I get 2 times x is 2x, 2 times negative 8 is negative 16. This is your inverse function. Now typically you're used to looking at it with the y, starting it off. So it is this, but if you also want to write it as the inverse, it could be that. Okay, so they're the same thing, right? Okay, quadratics, right? So you got quadratics. Here the vertex is 0, 0. Here we got 6, 0. Okay, so what happens is this positive 5, right? Okay, stop playing with the eraser. Okay, this positive 5 is a constant term, meaning this 5 is not contained in the square. It matters because here it's contained. See how this negative 6 is in the parentheses? Okay, so because the 5 is a loner, it's a constant term, you can move the negative 5. And so, oh, we would switch. Hold on. X, y squared plus 5. Okay, so now let's move it over. Now you would get x minus 5, and now you have y squared. And so now you can inverse operate the squaring. Because remember, what's the inverse operation of squaring? Square rooting. Drop the eraser. That cookie one in the back. Okay, so now you could go ahead and square root. And that's because this is isolated. So you're going to square root. Okay, so what do you get on the left? You just have to remember plus minus. You got to give me both. It's plus or minus the square root of x minus 5. And what's the square root of y squared? Just simply y. This just comes right out. And so this is your inverse function. So you can write it the other way. Switch it. Or you can write this. And tomorrow we'll go into Desmos so you guys can see how they relate. And when you get it, and I'll type it incorrectly into Desmos so you can see how visually you can tell it's not the inverse. Go to the last one. Yeah, you guys are okay. All right, here, now look, unlike this one, this 5 is not contained in the square. There's no grouping symbol. There is a grouping symbol here. It's parentheses. I cannot take the 6 to the left. Okay, so first, let me do this. Okay, so you have to first inverse operate the square, which means square root. You cannot do anything with that negative 6 until you get it out of the grouping squaring. Okay. Okay, so now I get plus minus rad x is equal to y minus 6. And so now y minus 6 just comes right out unaltered. Keep going. Okay. And so now here's your equal sign. So now go ahead and take that 6. And so you're going to get y equal plus or minus x and then plus 6. If you wrote it like this, it's not that it's wrong. It's just usually the x is first, the constant, right? You can write it like this. It's just normally it's always the x first, and then any constant goes to the back. Okay, or f of x. Right. Plus or minus x, and then do not put the square root. Do not contain it under the x. It has no business. So any of these three. are completely identical. Yeah. Okay, I'll pass back your quizzes. This is going to disappear because I have to hit save, so then it'll revert back to the beginning, but then it'll come back. There? Yeah. Okay, all right, let me give you your quiz.